Hey there, it's Nick from Ruli. Scheduled rules can be used to automate virtually any task that needs to be done on a regular basis, such as creating or archiving records, performing calculations, or making API calls to external systems. In this video, I'll show how to create a scheduled rule for sending a monthly expense summary email. Here we are on the Rules screen. Click New to create a new rule. I'll select Scheduled as the type, and I'll name the rule Send Monthly Expense Summary. When creating a scheduled rule, there is a Run field with two options, once and once per record. When once per record is selected, another field will display below, allowing the user to select a model. The rule will then run once for every record on that model that meets the criteria of the rule. When once is selected, there will be no model field below. The rule will only run once. You can add calculations to the once option so the rule will only run when they are true. I'll select once per record and I'll select the user model. In the filter conditions, I'll add a filter for inactive equals false. This mode will run the rule for each user that's active. Now I'll show how to configure an example by selecting once. For this example, I want this rule to run once a month. The start date is automatically populated with today's date. This can be changed. For this example, I'll leave it as today's date. And I'll select month in the Run Every field. Let's configure an email operation linked to this rule so that an email is sent once a month. I'll have the email sent to the CFO. I'll make the subject Monthly Expense Summary. And I'll write a body. I'll turn on the Attach Data toggle. And I'll select the expense form model. I'll select some fields. And I'll use the plus icon to add a merge field for Attach Data Table Link to Record. And I'll add a filter for expense submission date is last month. Now at the start of each month, the CFO will receive an email summary for all expenses from the previous month. You can also add calculations to rules that run once so they would execute conditionally. I'll select my expense form as the model. I'll add a filter for submission date equals last month. and I'll select to sum the total claim amount. So the query will return the total amount of all expenses for last month, same as the email. Now I will compare the result of my calculation to a number, so that the total claim amount is greater than $10,000. With this example, users will only be notified when the total is past a specific threshold that requires further review. Here we see the scheduled email of the monthly expense summary. Thanks for watching.